So, hello everyone. Welcome to the brand new episode of the podcast. And today we are having Tanishq. Tanishq is a friend of mine from college, and obviously we were not very good close friends, but I have been following him since very long, and he's been doing really great stuff. He landed a remote job offer, which was way above anyone was getting, right? Where the package was way above anyone was getting, and he is very active in crypto space. I like if you check out his LinkedIn and Twitter. So he's very active there. He has been tweeting and writing about crypto stuff, all the blockchains, different type of cryptos, and what exactly they are trying to do. And he also runs his own startup now. And so we are today we are going to discuss all of this. We are going to talk about his journey, his how he entered into crypto space, what he's doing with the startup, what are his future plans for his startup, and if you can benefit from C4 projects, we will also let you know. So let's get started. Tanish, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Manav and Milwa, for inviting me here. Really
Yeah.
feels really great to be here and really excited for this.
Yeah. So, like this will be, as I told you earlier before we started recording, this will be a chill podcast, and we don't have any agenda as of today, but we know that okay, we are going to discuss these topics, and हमें इस पे बात करना है. That is what we are planning to do. So, can you tell us like what you are currently doing? What are you currently working on?
So, primarily, I'm full time on my startup C4 projects as of now.
Okay. Okay.
I'll go into it step later on. Apart from that, I co-founded another company. It's called Glitter Finance. It was with this serial entrepreneur. He raised 40 million for his previous startup, which was called Spirium Finance. So working on that as well as a CTO. Apart from that, yeah, like I have a couple of projects here and there. I am guiding my younger brother with an NFT project. He and his friends who are in school right now, they like design and stuff. So I was guiding them towards how to convert their designs into NFTs and earn a few bucks. Apart from that, I was part of this Apollo DAO, which is another crypto startup. I was part of DN Analytics, work there. So just like finishing my work there, doing some support and maintenance stuff before I like finally close those projects. So yeah, roughly, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
So you are very active in the crypto space, and you're very active in the like. When was first time you discovered cryptocurrencies, and when was the first time you discovered blockchain as a thing?
So
And how did
it was
it
in
got
my
started with it? Yeah.
so it was in my seventh semester. It was
Hmm.
this stupid subject we had in college, TAP, Technical Answers to Real World Problems.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I made this agenda of mine to like, I chose my subjects very specifically when I chose my electives and stuff in college. So I was very specific about them. It was not like, okay, I learned maximum marks with this or something like that. I was very specific what I wanted to like get an exposure of. So at that time, blockchain and crypto was offered in college, but it was like some 3 credits, so it didn't match with the whole agenda. So I decided that since TARP is an open field and I'm missing out on blockchain and cryptocurrencies, I might as well explore that. So that was when I explored blockchain and cryptocurrency. Actually, even my initial thoughts were that this is just fad, like this is just advanced web development. I mean, why does this even make sense? Why are people so psyched about this? But interesting part is that blockchain and cryptocurrency was super new that time. So none of the teachers, none of my colleagues or anyone was aware about it. So whatever I said was true. I mean, I didn't have to worry about the reviews, projects, TA or anything like that. I just had a ready-made project. I would just come up with I'm good at public speaking, so I'll just throw in some fancy words along with some technical jargon, and it would just get me and my group done with all those staff reviews and stuff. So that is when I started enjoying blockchain and crypto, because that's when I realized that okay, the market is super niche, but this technology is super important. So there's an opportunity here. And when I worked on it, I actually picked up this project in top, which was building an e-voting system, a decentralized e-voting system, which could revolutionize the whole way governments work and voting happens in democracies, and how it could be put up at scale for countries like India. So that's when I realized that okay, this technology can actually, create problems for the government. It could actually automate the government's work. So that's when it started to get interesting. That okay, this could be something huge, and this is something really interesting. So that was my introduction to it, and yeah, like in a way, I kept getting on opportunities and stuff, because again, this domain was super niche. So even if I had one project on blockchain and crypto, it was like okay, you are in. I mean, sorted. So then I kept getting opportunities. Then I got into DLT Labs as a blockchain developer for my internships. They are the like world's global leaders in enterprise blockchain. They have the world's largest enterprise blockchain deployed with Walmart Canada. So I worked for 3 months there. Then it is that thing is interesting. So I got paid only 10K per month for that internship, but it got me interested into blockchain and crypto. So I learned so much about blockchain and crypto. I ended up investing all of my money, and for the next 3 months, I was working on a startup. I was not employed anywhere. I mean, I was not getting any income from anywhere. But the investments which I made, like, made an equivalent amount of money for that period of time.
Nice.
So yeah, and then I got into crypto, Solana, then Apollo DAO, then again this current startup on which I'm working, Greater Finance. So yeah.
Nice. Super exciting. So, like, as you have said, there's a little bit of echo. And Bilwa, are you recording it fine, right?
Yeah, I'm recording. I'm just keeping it mute because I think my speaker, your voice is coming out.
Okay, I guess, yeah, there was echo. Okay, but
Yeah.
anyways, so Tanish, you said that like you got interested in, so like my understanding of blockchain is very limited, right? I took a blockchain as a subject in I guess sixth semester, and that's when I actually discovered that what exactly is happening. Like all of these words seems to be fancy until and unless you understand what is exactly happening. How are blocks forming? How is this entire blockchain thing working? So once you start understanding that, you get like a lot of insights into it, right? And then you start thinking, okay, this might be useful there, this might be useful there. So there are two types of blockchains, right? Public and private blockchains. And
Yeah.
so Walmart is working with a public blockchain or a private blockchain.
Okay. So
Like, can
see,
you
like for
elaborate a little, and can you break down what different types of blockchains are there? Okay, let's I guess even boil it down to more
Let's
mid
start
level.
with what is blockchain first.
Yes.
For
Can you
me.
say, yeah, like I know many people might be investing in crypto, but they have no freaking clue what crypto is and how it is working. Even they're putting more money. So this can be a good education podcast. Tell us
Yeah.
what blockchain is.
yeah. So you guys remember Voldemort?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So what he did was he split his soul into 7 pieces. So
yeah,
now all these 7 pieces are synced, and if you have to kill this guy, you have to kill all the 7 parts of it.
yeah.
Blockchain is exactly that. So think of cloud. So you have AWS, all
Yeah.
right. So let's say there is one server in one room, like for simplicity purpose, right? But let's say if I burn down that building, cloud is gone, Netflix is gone, all the apps that are working on it are gone. So what blockchain is that it's basically public compute. So let's say I'm running an Ethereum node on my computer. So basically the whole world provides their compute to a unified system. Now, the thing about this is it works exactly like Horcruxes. So all of these computes are interconnected with each other. So basically, we are connecting all the computers in the world. In a way, all the computers, like I'm talking about when Ethereum's like is at maximum scale, or when the whole vision of blockchain is achieved. So all our computers, they are connected with one another, and they form this system on which people can build applications and do loads of stuff. Now, what advantage this gives is that you are actually building permanent web. I mean, your internet is no more like dependent on some five number of parties. Like if you count the number of clouds, they are like finite. You can practically count them on fingers. AWS, Azure, GCP, Heroku, Linode, loads of stuff. Like I mean, they are finite. But when you provide public compute, you are actually building permanent web, and this web is impossible to manipulate. I mean, when five parties are controlling the internet, it's in their hands how they wish to like manipulate the data, or whatever they wish to do with it. But when the whole world owns internet, first of all, it is permanent. Not even the government can destroy it, and secondly, it is actually giving power back to the people, so they can do whatever they want with the internet. So that's what blockchain is. I hope I
Yeah,
distilled it
yeah.
simply.
Yeah,
So
so you're giving us a fair idea that, but it's like you have to dive deeper and deeper into, and more you dive deeper into blockchain world, more things you get to know, and it's like it's an ocean, and you just have to keep swimming and keep learning, and it's not like every time you learn something, and there will always be something new that is coming up, and you have to learn that as well. So like this blockchain is, now people are very skeptical about blockchain. There are like two divided groups. One who says like blockchain won't work and the cryptocurrencies will fail eventually, and it's just like a tulip mania of 1600s, and this is just like going to burst someday. And some people are saying that okay, blockchain is going to change everything. Now I personally prefer to lie somewhere in between. I'm not saying that blockchain is solution for everything, and I'm not saying blockchain is going to fail. It is a good solution, a very good solution for some use cases. It is not so good solution for some use cases, right? So where do you lie on this like entire battle of crypto will work or not, or blockchain will work or not?
So yeah, coming to blockchains, yeah, I mean there is a clear polarization of people who believe in it and people who do not believe in it. Now again, I mean you use a hammer for nails. I mean you won't cut apple with hammer. So obviously it's not a solution to every problem in the world, right? So the thing is that even if you look at it, blockchain is in a way an advanced version of the web, and it basically enhances the stack. So even when you are actually building a blockchain application, it's not that you will be purely using a decentralized compute, because it's expensive in every sense. It's expensive to develop, it's expensive to deploy. Everything there costs a lot of money. Plus the technology is pretty nascent. I mean that's the reason why blockchain developers are paid more, because they are developing technology which is very nascent at this stage. So basically, if you are using an application like Binance, Binance is a centralized exchange. So its data actually lies on a centralized database in the cloud servers, and a part of it is like deployed on the blockchain. So point is, I mean, you can't sustain a 100% decentralized system like in the first place. It's that at some point for e-voting or cases like cryptocurrency, you prefer totally decentralized solution. But like when I worked with DLT Labs and Walmart Canada, they had an enterprise blockchain. It was somewhere a private blockchain. So basically, there are these n number of stakeholders. So thing is that Walmart Canada had like a number of stakeholders. Like the whole supply chain is huge. So it was getting difficult to manage it on centralized servers, because when you are manually keeping your books, you have to tell them each time, right? Okay, why is this discrepancy there? Why is this discrepancy there? And that is a lot of grunt work and a lot of money. But with blockchain, you don't have to maintain a sort of ledger that exists a immutable public ledger. So basically, not public in the sense like public for like the parties involved. So that ledger keeps getting updated automatically, like when the transactions happen. So you don't have, so that basically saves you the efficiency. So the point is that you are right. I mean, it depends on use cases. So if you are building a supply chain, there is no need to go 100% decentralized. If you are building cryptocurrencies, if you are building e-voting system, you need to go 100% decentralized. So particularly towards the case of cryptocurrencies, because I feel that's where the major tension is. I personally believe that cryptocurrencies will someday take over stocks. Why do I believe that? Because currently the stock market is regulated, it is controlled by government, but cryptocurrencies, they are unregulated, but they also give you access to the international markets. So I mean, what's the harm in what's the harm in letting the blood spill? I mean, if you're smart enough, you'll make money. If you're not smart enough, you won't make money. I mean, it's pretty simple. So the framework which government comes up with, like like restricting stocks in upper circuit or restricting stocks in lower circuit, it is basically for public safety, but it also restricts you from making that advantage, from exploiting that particular market. So I personally feel that markets should be open, they should be unregulated, and we would eventually find some middle ground where there exists some particular regulation for cryptocurrencies. Like for example, Singapore is doing pretty well in terms of that. They have 0% capital gains tax on cryptocurrencies, and they have proper business corporations and stuff for people who want to open up exchanges or launch cryptocurrencies and stuff.
Okay, interesting, interesting. Oh, what is this fuss about all the coins coming up one by one, and most of them are shit coins, they are not useful. uh, Anyone can launch their own coin, and it like without any usability and all. So can you walk us through Bitcoin, and then there's Ethereum, and then
Yeah.
there's Cardano, then there's like thousands of other coins. So like what is the ideology behind them, and like when you say there's a blockchain underlying, what exactly is blockchain doing, what exactly is blockchain underlying Ethereum doing?
And
So
also,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
even I want to know, like, right from the basics, that how you classify that one is like a proper cryptocurrency, and the other one like Shibu and everything. They are termed as shitcoins, and I have no idea why it's so. Maybe throw some light on that as well.
Sure. So okay, I'll start with the whole chronology of
Yeah, yeah,
how blockchain and cryptocurrency developed from Bitcoin to wherever we are today.
Hmm.
So Satoshi Nakamoto, the anonymous inventor of Bitcoin, first brought this concept into place. So cryptocurrency was the first actual application of blockchain, and Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency. So the underlying blockchain was the first actual blockchain. Now, the thing is, why do we require a blockchain for cryptocurrency? Let's say I build. We are using things like Airtel money or Paytm money,
yeah,
stuff like that. Point is, we are trusting them with that money. I mean, when we put money in Paytm, we are trusting that okay, these Paytm credits can be availed back to us later on, or they won't be tampered with. But let's say I hack into the Paytm servers and tamper with all that money, or people who are into Paytm, they only do this to money around here and there. So I may be filing a feature, but once your money is gone, it's gone. So that's why we needed a system which was secure by design, and that is what blockchain is. It is a system which is secure by design. It is not owned by one particular entity. So one particular entity can't basically make any change to it. So that's why we needed blockchain to enable real cryptocurrencies. So it's not like that we can't have cryptocurrencies without blockchain. The if you look at it, the idea of cryptocurrencies is basically it's a pre-sale token. I
yeah,
mean, let's say I'm working on C4 projects. I even wish to tokenize it someday. So how it would work is like I release a CFC C4 coin, and you purchase that coin, and you can use that coin to later on enroll in one of our programs or stuff like that. So it's basically a pre-sale token, a pre-sale security that okay, you're paying me money right now, and I'll give you that purchase later on. So cryptocurrency just formalizes this process in a way. But why we actually needed blockchain for that? Because we needed a system which was secure by design so that large scale scams couldn't be there. So this is why we need blockchains, cryptocurrencies and stuff. Now I'll get into the specifics. So Bitcoin was the first ever cryptocurrencies. It was the version of cryptocurrencies that failed to innovate. So even today it is the face of cryptocurrencies because I mean people don't know about other cryptocurrencies, but they know about Bitcoin. They've heard about Bitcoin.
yeah,
So it gave the whole blockchain a basic structure. It gave everyone the whole field redesigned itself. So blockchain based businesses are very different. So we have tokenomics there. Yeah, I mean, conventional business model gets converted there. The equity isn't same there. I mean, there are tokens. So basically, you instead of equity, you get tokens. But as the market needs increases, the value of those tokens increase, and that's why you make profits. So that's how it works there. So it was a whole revolution in itself. So the last revolution occurred with the first revolution which we know of like in terms of internet was the 1990 internet market. I mean companies launched at that time: Amazon, Google, Facebook, all the big tech which we know of today. Second was the revolution in we know of was Silicon Valley. They brought in AI, they brought in big data, they brought in after the invention of cloud, it became possible to leverage big data. So then the whole business models are based on leveraging big data and AI. I mean, Google leverages data, Facebook leverages data, all the major corporations leverage data. Now this was the third big revolution. I mean, the whole picture gets changed. The whole business models are different. I once had this idea of building a decentralized social network, and the business model was that you actually get paid to use the social network. So forget about free no social networks. You are getting paid to use a social network. So it was a total revolution in itself. Now that gave rise to other cryptocurrencies because when Bitcoin came in, the its only utility was that it's people's money, actually. But Vitalik Buterin realized that more could be done with that, and he built a blockchain or a cryptocurrency on which you can build your applications. Because eventually, if Bitcoin is digital money, you can integrate it into digital applications. Then why not enable other applications to leverage this technology too? So that was the second big blockchain, Ethereum, and they enabled building of decentralized applications. So when I mean decentralized applications, that means that let's consider the example of a decentralized social network. So when you use social networks, if you have watched the Social Dilemma or other movies, you will know that how you're being manipulated into
yeah,
liking pictures of certain people, or how you're basically made to addict that platform. But here you control what you want to do. Like, even let's say if you're holding Ethereum, you have the power to leverage that for equity and governance. So let's say if there's some major Ethereum decision going to take place, you can even cast in a vote that okay, we want this to happen with Ethereum. So basically, there's whole transparency involved. Like, you can't manipulate it unless, like, when you are on decentralized applications. So that was the revolution which Ethereum brought in. Then after Ethereum, the problem which Ethereum faced was that, again, it was the first blockchain that enabled decentralized application, but again it failed to innovate because not that it failed to innovate, but it was not scalable. So there's this scalability triangle. It says that a system can only achieve two things at a time. It can either be security, it can either be scalability, or it can either be decentralization. So they basically compromised on scalability and focused on security and decentralization. Till date, Ethereum is unhacked. So there was this one major hack that happened with Ethereum, and once some money was stolen out of Ethereum, the community decided to roll back on the hack, and they decided to create a fork, basically split the Ethereum into two. So you might have heard of Ethereum Classic (ETC). It is basically a hacked version of Ethereum, and ETH, as we know it, is basically rolled back version of Ethereum, which was kept unhacked. So I mean, it's after this much amount of time, it's tested that you can't actually hack Ethereum, and with the other updates coming up, it will become even more difficult. So then, so Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was launched, it gave the market an opportunity to develop blockchain which could develop decentralized application. When Ethereum launched, it gave up opportunity to the market to develop decentralized applications that can scale. Now there's a whole plethora of blockchains that are working into this right now, but none of them has achieved the goal. So there's Cardano, there is Solana, there is Internet Computer, there is Avalanche, there is Algorand. These, yeah, these are five major players who are working on a better layer one itself. So now, if you talk about scaling Ethereum, there are multiple ways to go about it. The first way is to like have a better layer one itself, so like have a better chain. Second way is to have like multiple chains so that you can like distribute the loads. So this is where this is where blockchains like Matic or Polygon focus on. So they basically pull in up multiple chains which can like distribute a load. Ethereum 2 is focusing on this as well, like having multiple chains where you can chart the load. So that is another way to go about Ethereum scalability. Then there are blockchains like Cosmos and Polkadot, which enable multiple blockchains to connect with each other. Then there is Chainlink, which enable centralized systems and decentralized systems to connect with each other. There's another issue. There was another issue with Bitcoin, that Bitcoin was also not scalable in terms of transaction. I mean, it had an upper limit and it was achieved pretty fast. So that's why it became a bit difficult to adopt Bitcoin, because the transactions were not as fast. I mean, it took a lot of time, and once it caught the fire, the gas fees and all were high, and other stuff. So transaction fees actually. So it also gave an opportunity in the market to develop faster Bitcoins, basically. So there's Bitcoin Cash, there is Litecoin, number of chains in that. An interesting blockchain here is Monero. So Monero enables people to transact money without actually revealing their identity or transactions. So it's basically a total complete private transaction system. It's commonly used for in the deep web, dark web, black markets and stuff. But the best thing about Monero is that no one can track your money, not even government. Yeah. Apart from that, there's a lot of stuff. There's this whole DeFi space. So basically, whatever you can do in conventional finance, you can do in decentralized finance, like lending money, margins, options, synthetic assets. So there's a whole plethora of blockchain. But yeah, like the basic blockchain infrastructure is this, and there's a whole payment and financial system on top of that. There's a governance system on top of that, and yeah, then there are NFTs and stuff. So the market is pretty huge. But yeah, if you wish to just get started, you must understand this evolution of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and stuff.
Yeah. So there is so much going on in the blockchain space, right? And everyone is saying that this might get disrupted, this might get disrupted. What are your top picks? Like, this is like, we already know that blockchain is pretty much very much like the first thing that is it might disrupt is finance, how we do finance in a conventional way, and it might change in future. It might change and people might start accepting it. Many hedge funds are started to hold cryptocurrencies for under their assets, right? And they are actively looking into how this can be used. And like world is getting more and more open to this concept of blockchain, and they are not like throwing it away that this won't work. Like maybe 3 4 years back, many people who were saying that this won't work. Now they are trying to understand it, right? How it can be used, how it can work, right? So what are your top picks that okay, this sector is the most most reliable sector for blockchain, that okay, blockchain is most suitable use case for here? And then what are your picks on, like can you arrange them, that ये सबसे पहला आएगा, इसमें blockchain is definitely going to be used, then this, then this, and then this.
All right. So, okay, let's think about this at the very fundamental level. So, I feel there are four major departments of a business: uh, finance, legal and operations, then marketing, and then the technology.
Yeah.
Right. The technology is already disrupted because of blockchain, and
Yeah.
it's if you can disrupt technology, you can eventually disrupt all the other fields because that's how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
So that was the first field with got disrupted. Next, talking about finance, that was the first because Bitcoin started from it. So Bitcoin was the
Hmm.
first ever DeFi product in a way. So finance is already disrupting. I mean, there's this whole field of DeFi. I mean, it's pretty huge. So finance is already getting disrupted. Marketing is getting disrupted because of NFTs. So NFTs are basically collectibles or non-fungible tokens. So think about this. Like we start giving away special T-shirts. Let's say your podcast releases a T-shirt and you start giving up a T-shirt, special T-shirts to different listeners or special people of your community, and they are unique T-shirts. Let's say like not produced mass produced T-shirt, or like they have something unique about it, name written on it or something like that. So people hold certain emotional value to it. So that's how NFTs work. NFTs are non-fungible token. So the way they differ from cryptocurrencies or tokens actually is that they every NFT is unique. They are collectibles. So like a T-shirt with your name written on it. So it holds an emotional value to it. So that is how marketing is being disrupted. So let's say if I hold a Solana ape or any other NFT, I want to show this world that okay, I believe in Solana and I'm a part of this community. So that's how that works. And NFT market is pretty nascent right now, and I mean gains are pretty huge. Apart from that, as far as legal is concerned, so that is where it actually started to basically disrupt the government in the first place because government holds the keys to all the major institutions. So government will no more hold control over technology is already owned by people. All you need is a computer and you can be a part of this network. So government has no more access over it. Once the technology is in the hands of people, it they practically gives you access to the whole world. I mean, you can own NFTs, you can basically validate blockchains, mine blockchains, participate in DeFi platforms. Lastly, another the remaining field, legal basically. So rights can be issued by NFTs, and they will be issued by actually. I mean, we will be basically recreating the government in a way. I mean, this is not done as of now, but this is how I envision the world to go in. Like, if this revolution keeps happening, so there will be an actual global government law, not the useless one like UN, an actual global government where people make decisions. So let's say we are building this on top of Bitcoin. So let's say all three of us hold one Bitcoin. So that Bitcoin will enable us to vote for major decisions, transfer money between the whole world. So basically, we are talking about a metaverse, which I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot in the tech news these days. But that's how it's going to proceed. Like when we talk about metaverse, we think about in terms of extended reality or holograms or virtual world like that. But primarily, these systems are going to be developed first, and then all those aesthetics and theatrics. So I guess the revolution which is not talked about enough is how it will be developing a global governance system in a way, and which will be enabling. I mean, we can use NFTs for citizen. relationship, or that just to prove existence, that okay, we have an NFT, that means yeah, we are a part of this, or something like that. So yeah, I mean, I haven't given it a complete thought as of now, like how we'll actually build it or something like that. But yeah, that's where I see this moving, like the whole connect world connected via a blockchain.
Interesting. So it is like early 2000s of the internet that people are
Exactly.
still discovering key, okay, what can we build with this technology, what we can, where we can use it. And okay, this might be a tulip mania, it might be just a bubble which might burst, but if you are like an avid technologist, so you should be keeping focus on this, and you should keep track of what is exactly happening, how people are trying to figure out use cases, how people are trying to come up with solutions for many different problems where the trust issues are there, or something like that, right? So if someone has to get started with like learning about blockchain, learning about all of this cool stuff that is happening, it sounds cool. We don't know how cool it is until and unless we go into it and if we enjoy it or not. So what would be good resources to start, or what would be the ladder to start? Like, okay, this is the first step, this is the second step, and you can go on and go on.
So, okay, first of all, the whole ideal roadmap. I mean, assuming you have infinite amount of time in the world and you're like
Yeah,
just doing this
yeah.
for like knowledge perspective, I would first say understand the evolution of internet. I
Hmm.
mean, first understand what a centralized web is. Like,
Hmm.
how internet progressed from HTML and PHP based pages to microservices based architecture hosted on clouds, and then understand what how big data was handled, what exactly problems were there for which we are developing this. I mean. People commit this mistake a lot, and they just get started with blockchain. Okay, we'll start putting a smart contract. Yeah, sure, do that. But after you write your first smart contract, you won't know how to proceed further in it because you won't have a clue of what you are actually doing. So first, understand, like learn these basic stuff: machine learning, deep learning, big data, AI, cloud, your conventional web, front end, back end, DevOps, cloud security, UI, UX, basic stuff. I mean, I'm not saying that specialize in all of this, but at least build an end-to-end application where you are leveraging deep learning models and they are hosted on cloud. It could be very simple as facial recognition, or anything. It could be anything. So I think the first point would be to build an end-to-end application and deploy it on proper cloud and stuff. That would like give you enough basic knowledge that you need to proceed with. Then once you're clear with that, you would actually understand, okay, now this is where smart contracts come in. Thing is that with blockchain, we are still developing the decentralized internet. So it's not like we have all the resources available at hand. Like with centralized web, we have everything. We have S3 buckets on AWS to store our data and stuff. We have EC2 computes to handle stuff for us, virtual private servers and all. But here we are still developing it. I mean, there are even no pre-built solutions for caching or other conventional problems which we have already solved in the centralized web. So once you have a basic knowledge of how centralized web works, and then you should proceed with it. Also, once you have built an end-to-end application, read about how the business model of big tech works. Like, how does Facebook make money? How does Google make money? How does Amazon makes money? How does ignore Microsoft? How does Apple make money? So yeah, I mean, personal preference. They haven't done anything innovative. So everyone who's listening to this, sorry for that. So total, yeah. So yeah, okay. So learn about how business model of big tech works. So that will give you an idea of how data was leveraged to make money. So then you should get started with blockchain, because blockchain is not just another technology. It changed business models. It changed. I mean, we need new regulations to like make blockchain official. There are decentralized autonomous organizations. The equity is distributed in a different way. You earn money in a different way. So you need to have a thorough whole end to end, like how the product is built, how those products made money, how those products are grown, and then you should shift into this. So once you are here, like start with Ethereum, then move into like a blockchain like probably Solana. Uh, I mean, that was the first scalable layer one blockchain which made it to the market. So my preference is that, but yeah, I mean, any other scalable blockchain works. And for specifically for resources, I would recommend my blogs, like I'm because reason being there is not so much good content available out there on the internet. I mean, legit. I mean, like practically speaking, that was the primary motivation to build a whole blog focusing on that. I've written a lot about it. So maybe you guys can share the link and stuff with the description in this video and all. So yeah, I mean, if you can go through my blogs, I pretty much explained everything there, conventional business models. the whole understanding of blockchain concept surrounding it, and then getting onto the technical side as well.
Now, it's a good roadmap, and you also have, I guess, mentorship coming up on blockchain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will definitely talk about all the mentorships that you are planning to have. We'll definitely talk about your startup as well. So, ठीक है. Now this makes sense that I guess developers like who is already a developer working in all of these technologies, maybe Web 2.0, so they have already a edge over understanding all of this stuff, right? You just need to get interested into this, and you start. Maybe if you're an engineer, if you're a developer, then it's easier for you to start. But it's not like if you're not related to any of the tech stuff, but you want to understand Bitcoin, blockchain, so maybe try starting understanding the business side of it, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I totally agree to that, and that's why I also again love blockchain crypto so much, because it puts the most fundamental profession of engineering on the pedestal. I mean, you have a direct competitive edge if you are an engineer, because you understand how the whole system works from the ground up.
Yeah.
So, not because I am an engineer, but I have the utmost respect for the profession in itself, and how much it actually contributes to the economy. So, I think that is one good thing that this did. I mean, earlier you can get away with like professions like finance, medicine, where the government creates a regulation and it's hard to obtain those regulations, and that's why you earn money because you have those regulations. But now it's free market. If I mean, it's all about competence now. The better your understanding is, the better your technical skills are, the more you understand crypto, blockchains, the more competitive you have over the market. I mean, there is no upper limit, there are no regulations stopping you. There are no regulatory, boundary or limit which will restrict people, or help more privileged people to get into that. It's all about the free market now. So again, that is not something I despise about it, but I love about it. But yeah, if you're not a technical person, first of all, I would really suggest that even if you're not a technical person, learn a bit about the underlying technology, because without it, it won't make sense. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
if I have seen people, who are good at stock market apply the same fundamentals here, and I mean, personally, that approach won't be a good result, because this market is not regulated. There is no upper circuit, there is no lower circuit, there is no government closing your markets and only opening them from 9 to 5, or whatever schedule is there. This market is open 24/7. It is a practical bloodbath there. There are new companies and cryptocurrencies coming up every day, competing with the market freely, openly, in a totally democratized manner, total people ownership. So what you need here is legit understanding of product, of people, of markets, of what people want, what has worked in the past, what hasn't worked in the past. So only your research, your analysis will help you here.
Makes sense. Now it's like there's so much going on that this podcast won't definitely be enough to talk about all the concepts in crypto and discuss all of that in great detail. Obviously, I would say that like once we are done with this podcast, you please share all your blogs, all your links, and even we will talk about mentorship, what mentorship is coming up with, and different type of stuff. But now I guess like I want to go into some different topic, that is how did you land a remote job, and what was your tech skills, how did you got in touch with those people, how did you make your connections. Like I know you have a good connections with all the people working in tech, crypto, and all of stuff, so can you talk about it?
Sure. So, see, before getting into specific, I would just like to give a general background so
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
sense for people. So ever since I got into college, I had just one goal, that I had a sort of existential career crisis. Like I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So my first goal was to like explore enough in 4 years of my life, and plus again a degree from VIT is pretty expensive. So there was a mental or a financial pressure that okay, I have to make the most out of it, and since for the most part of my life I had been focusing on academics and credentials and stuff, like not most part of it really, but at least for the last 3 years, for the JE preparation and drop year and stuff like that. So I was pretty sure that okay, I'm done with this credentials and all stuff. I mean, it landed me into VIT and I'm happy for that. But I had this insight that okay, this is not something which is going to take me much far from here. So I wanted to explore myself and try various domains, meet new people, and understand who I am, what this world is, and where I fit in this whole landscape and what I want to do with my life. That was the like primary crisis and what I wanted to do with the 4 years of my life. So this is very different from what most people had, like from placements or GPA or all that. I mean, that was never my primary concern. So again, so that is my background, and this is relevant because it made me do all the stuff which I do. So
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, so I started with love chapters that built my basic soft skills, non-technical skills of managing people, finance, all the managerial stuff. I had this illusion at my first year that I'm already in CSE branch, so I won't need a technical love chapter. Plus, I didn't know much tech back then as well. So I thought of I'll just study my CSE and learn whatever tech I want to learn. So I never got into a technical lab chapter. Plus, I didn't have those skills initially. So I worked in vacation and stuff. Diwali vacation, 7 days period or what. I'll just learn or go up to an offline class. Tell them that I have 7 days and I need you to teach me whole web dev. This is the time which I'm giving you. Just like teach me whatever you can in those 7 days. So that's how it used to work. So in those short bursts, I completed machine learning, web development, the basic stuff, the centralized stack by roughly the end of my second year. In my third year, I thought I'll go for masters and stuff, and I just started C4 projects as a part time. I mean, I had this event Comic Con, and we weren't planning to continue it the next year. So I just didn't want my to let down my juniors. So because that worked so hard, so I just idea, and I just started off that okay, I'm giving you this idea. I'll be busy with my master's prep. So if you legit want to do something, do with it. I'll support you, guide you, mentor you, everything. But you have to do this. So that's how C4 project started. They started the community. I was more of an advisor or a guider, guide back in preparing, spending most of my time of my master stuff. But and then even my GRE was scheduled on 30th March 2020 and 15th March 2020. The, the whole surprise happens. It was I still remember it. It was a fine Sunday evening. I was drinking my tea outside our main gate, and then all of a sudden this news comes that okay, it's vacation time. We have to go home because of COVID, and there's just 2 months vacation. So yeah, I mean, and then the whole lockdown was there. So yeah, I mean, my GRE exam was correct. I mean, I didn't know when I'll be giving it again and all that, and so we had this 2 months of time in which all of us were free. Like we didn't know what to do because all our plans were in trash now because of this vacation. So 2 months we focused on C4 projects, and that was a time when we actually validated it. So during that process, I learned a lot. Like for whatever skills I had gained, technical, non-technical, it gave me a whole landscape. And again, so my senior, I mean the mentors which I had early in my college taught me the importance of networking, and yeah. So by the end of that, I had pretty much covered up the conventional stack. I had learned enough about business to understand business models and stuff, and all that stuff. So that was like my groundwork, which prepared me. I By then I had developed a decent enough network in college at least, and then I was part of this Toastmasters, and since my mentors always focused more on mentor like networking and stuff, so I made a lot of connections due to that as well. Participated in a lot of international conventions and stuff, and built my network during that time. Then after that, this was the time which laid the groundwork, like built my network and basic skills and stuff. So it was more of a spontaneous process just because of the goal I had. Now after this is the part where the whole crypto stuff starts, and how I landed that remote job basically comes into the picture. So because of COVID, the this culture of remote job was actually accelerated. So back then, I mean, it wasn't as much as it's today, and so yeah. After I started C4 and stuff, then 7th semester happened. Then I already told how I got into blockchain and stuff, and then I got into DLT labs. Simultaneously, I also got an internship in Silicon Valley as an AI engineer. So again, that was out of network only. So nothing special as such about it. I mean, it's just if you could take away from this whole thing, it's just that focus on your skills and build a network. I mean, nothing super special about it till now. So then I got these 2 internships, and then I got interested into blockchain. It was this when I actually realized the importance of this. When I worked on conventional, whole end-to-end AI systems and enterprise blockchains. So it was then I realized that okay, I want to go crypto board, work into public blockchains, and eventually also think about optimizing AI and building decentralized AI and stuff. So it was pretty much fixated on that. And by this time, I had also realized that the crypto market is pretty nascent. Placement season has also passed. I mean, when I'm talking about this, in my eighth semester right now. So I mean, in the story. So by this, I had learned that there are enough opening for web developers, data data engineers, or I mean there are enough roles in ML and web dev and all the conventional related stuff. But the market of blockchain, it's pretty nascent. So it could be exploited because there are not many people doing it. And even that in that I chose Solana, which was like which as I told you the first blockchain in market which could scale. So I got into Solana, and the demand was huge because everyone wanted to scale their DApps, but Ethereum was not able to scale, and it was so difficult, and everyone was switching over to Solana. So I got into this hackathon, then Solana season hackathon. It was a 3 weeks global hackathon, and it that is the turning point in this whole thing. So till now it was all about preparation. Working in Valley, working at DLT labs, learning all those skills, gaining these insights about the market. Then when Solana happened, I got into this hackathon. I connected. I worked for I consulted 20 startups actually. So I helped them build their technical solutions using Solana and how their whole technical architecture would look like and stuff like that. Even coded some smart contracts, and that many of them ended up winning. And when people realized my skills, I was given an offer for 120K USD, remote job, well-funded US based crypto startup. So that happened then. So basically, the insight here was that I chose the right market. So I chose blockchain, which was nascent, super new, and even that in that I chose Solana. So I mean, there is a very limited supply and the demand is huge. So obviously, I mean, any developer entering that right now would be paid more. So that is the insight there. I guess that I mean that answers your question. I guess which you were looking for,
Yeah,
and yeah.
yeah, that answers my question. So it's like then why did you give up your offer? You said right, you gave up your offer and you are focusing full time on startup. I know, and I understand the instinct of going for a startup, working on your own baby and making it bigger, growing it, building team, actually solving a problem. But like, what made you think that okay, let's focus on this, and how you were so sure that ki even if this goes wrong, even if this doesn't work, कुछ ना कुछ figure out हो जाएगा, we'll figure out something, or maybe like you have solid confidence on your skills, that or you solid confidence on that there are enough openings for this market, and I have those skills and I can get into it anytime. So what was the thought process of giving up a job offer and continuing on your startup?
So see, primarily as I told you, I had explored multiple domains.
Hmm.
So I figured out AI, I figured out blockchain, figured out Solana, figured out the whole business side of things. So the thing is, when I work for C4, I get to solve a new problem every day. I mean,
Hmm.
every day, if I'm working as an SDE or even as an analyst or any restricted role, it's like okay, I have a pretty straightforward pathway. I'll be researching and I'll be implementing solutions and stuff. So after that, it got a bit dry for me personally. I mean, if you ask about the primary motivation, that was it because when I work for C4, I mean, there's fire everywhere, but I mean, it's interesting. You get to solve new problems every day. So I have recently we encountered some problems in a product. I literally figured out DevOps and AWS in matter of time of a week, and I did 8 deployments in a week. So I mean that the learning curve which is offered there is like unmatchable. So I mean right now I can literally do anything. I mean I know how to build front end, and not even simple front end. I can build proper React based extended reality based front ends. I can develop strong scalable models there, handle big data, deploy in cloud, dockerize my applications, build microservices, and even do some basic security stuff. On the business side, I know how to do evaluations and stuff. And on the financial side, on marketing side, I'm good at designing campaigns and basically hitting where it hits and coming up with creative ideas and stuff. I know basic design as well. Then on yeah, on the product end, product end becomes a new angle altogether. Like it's like you don't know what you will tweak and what will give you more growth. So it's pretty difficult to comprehend the whole field of product. I mean, you can change your business model and it will give you more growth. You can change the courses which you're offering and it will give you more growth. You can configure TLS on your website and it will give you more growth. So I mean, that is the interesting part, that I get to solve a new problem every day. And I mean, it's just something which I'm fond of, or this is. I mean, I've figured out that this is the sort of life I want. So yeah, and now coming to the security part. So see, I'm pretty sure in the coming few years, it not as many Solana developers are coming. Not until C4 projects happens. So I mean, there is going to be an undersupply of developers, and even if, let's say, some miracle happens and Solana is now filled with developers somehow, I'm pretty sure Solana will also have some disadvantage, or some point where it lacks. There will be some new technology solving it, and I'm confident enough that I can learn it and again find a job in, basically create my own market there and bag it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was a part rational as well, that yeah, okay, and I mean, yeah, sure, I can definitely get a job, even if to put my skill set aside, I have enough use of a network to at least get me a basic job. That won't be an issue. And yeah, I mean, most of it was like, yeah, it was just the calling, that yeah, I mean, this is the sort of life I want, the sort of life which I enjoy in C4. So that was the primary factor. But yeah, up behind that, there were a lot of rational analysis and discussion. But yeah, the crux of it, that is that.
Yeah. Let me say this straight, very straight, that you are a very brave man, because not like many people want to have their own startups, have their own companies, but the guts to leave everything, leave a very fancy, high paying job, and work on your baby, grow it, work with people, form a team. It takes guts, man. It takes guts. And like I'm really like, this is inspirational for me as well, because I feel I look up to you, that you are so solid and you're so confident on your skills that okay, I'll learn something and I'll get a job. Now you have that confidence, and once you have that confidence and you know how to build a network, you are literally unstoppable, right? Even if this, I hope it works, and I know like you're doing a really great job, and I will talk about it in a very great detail. But even if it doesn't work, I am pretty sure, like looking after your confidence now, you'll figure out something for yourself, and that is so great thing, and it inspires me personally. So kudos to you, man. Kudos to you, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, what is this driving force which we don't
Yeah,
have?
yeah. So the people who driving force, they inspire me so much. Like, boss, you guys are like literally people who chose to solve problems. They are leading the way ahead, right? They are doing everything for everyone. People, rest of us are like, we are enjoying it, and we are like doing what we want, and we are just helping someone to build their dreams. But you are actually building your dream, and that is so great. That's so great. I'm really liking it. But yeah, so I guess below we should talk about C4 and his startup idea, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we should move on to that.
Yeah. So what is the C4? Like, what was when was the first day that you decided कि आज C4 शुरू करना है, और that ये idea है, इसके साथ हम आगे जा रहे हैं? Or when was that day? Was it in college or was it somewhere in between?
All right. So first of all, thanks a lot for your kind word. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, so C4 started back in first week of June 19. So if you might have heard of Madhav well, so I was
Yeah.
working with him on this idea he had. It was called Code to Express, and it was basically an online community to help people learn tech. So he basically gave me the opportunity to lead the whole Vellore side of things, build my own team, and do stuff there. So I tried a lot of stuff there. I mean, I easily growth hacked it. Like, we had some 1,000 members in WhatsApp group by the end of first month or so. We were providing daily resources and all, but that's when I came to realize that okay, there are a lot of problems here. So initially, I thought that okay, you just need to find the right resources and you will learn, right? But it's not so simple. So there's a lot of stuff. Let's say you want to learn machine learning, you will go, you will look for N2MG's machine learning course, and you will learn some basic mathematics and stuff, and you'll feel happy about it. Yeah, now I know ML. Then when you'll get an actual ML job, you'll actually realize that that's not even the 5% of job. I mean, yeah, the actual difficulty is actually deploying it into a proper web application or into integrating it into a web based model. That's a whole different level of hell. So, I mean, and that is the primary reason why I mean people are paid 100k USD in the Silicon Valley, because that is next level difficulty. It's not about optimizing those. Okay, we have 95% accuracy now. Wow, we have 99% accuracy. It's not about that. It's about, can that model actually handle scale. I mean, there are so many users there. There's so much data coming, and even able to handle it. So first of all, I realized that okay, this is problematic. And as I told you, like when I entered college, I didn't have any tech skills. Or whatever I did was on my own, or networking and building my own skills, doing my own research and stuff like that. So I realized how difficult it was for people who are just getting started in tech to learn tech, and there was no community in college which was doing that at that time. So if you want to enter clubs and chapters, you need to have technical skills. I mean, that just sounded stupid to me. If you have technical skills, why do you even want to do that? So I mean, yeah, community makes sense and all, but still, the purpose of that is to like help you learn more tech. But it was basically a chicken and egg problem. So I realized that okay, first of all, VIT needs something like this. So first of all, it doesn't start something as something very serious. That initial my plans were to go for a masters. My initial plans were I'll go for masters, do like do job for some while, join a startup, and then whenever I get my idea, I'll start working on it. That was the initial plan. But so I just started C4 as a side project. It started off as a non-profit. As I told you, I had a few juniors whom I wanted to present an opportunity to. I just gave them the opportunity, guided them to build it. Basic idea was that there will be a group of people who will be learning the same stuff. I'll design the whole curriculum. And the core junior, his work will be to like follow up and ensure that the people actually finish off this curriculum. So it can be a simple Udemy course, on an Excel sheet divided in timelines, and the whole 25 people are following it. So since all the 25 people are working on it, it has a feel that okay, it is a lot better than learning alone, because you have a community deadline in a way. So yeah, I mean your friends are doing it, so yeah, you're committed in a way that okay, all of us, let's do this by this timeline. If you have doubts, you are discussing it with your friends and people, that okay, did you understand this concept? Okay, what are hooks and all this stuff, and whatever. So that's how it evolved. That's what the initial idea was. And actually, I even my initial team was basically skilled juniors. No, not skilled juniors. They were trusted juniors, and they weren't as skilled then. But I mean, this is how I built my team based on trustworthy people. Then gave them this whole idea. They worked on it. Through this idea, they developed their own skills. So we had a proof of concept that okay, this thing actually works. So you might look at all the designs of C4 projects. They are designed by most of them are designed by Anushraf. And when he joined C4, he didn't know design. So he learned design here. Like he was one of the earliest members, and he learned design there. And I mean, I feel so proud when I look at his designs today. I mean, they are out of this world. So that's there. People learn marketing here. People learn development here. So we basically built our whole team using that idea. Then with when the COVID summer hit, we basically outsourced that idea. And and there was one point we went before that. So when this idea worked, there were initially only 20 people who were like learning and all. And when when we announced that okay, we are looking forward to expand and stuff. So within like a night or so, we had 55 people who are more interested. And at this time, we are not doing any social marketing. I mean, zero marketing. It was only based on pure word of mouth, like 20 people, and scaling into 75 just based on pure word of mouth. So that was the proof that okay, market needs something like this. It is actually benefiting people, and it is something noble to do with life. So then, I mean, step by step, we scaled it up. I mean, we integrated different ideas. Since these people were done with the like most popular courses, we built blogs out of them. I took their personal sessions in which they had to explain their whole whatever they have learned. So which ensured that okay, they are which ensured that they are actually learning. Plus, it improved their writing skills, down to improve their public speaking skills, loads of stuff. Then we came up with the ideas of forums. Then we outsourced this whole idea to like we basically outsourced the idea outside the community. We took it outside the community when the summer hit us. Then came summer mentorship program. Then we were the first to ever do a global online hackathon and global webinars. We had webinars lined up for 12 hours back to back for 3 days. So with C4 we were doing revolutionary stuff. Revolutionary in the sense that it was giving us thrills. We felt like gods. I mean, okay, we had an illusion. No one is doing this, and we are bringing it to the reality. So it was a altogether different kind of kick that we all used to get. So that's how it happened. We came up with new ideas. I mean, there were a lot of problems on the product side because we are. I mean, we are even though we are engineers, we are just in college right now. None of us had the experience of building production grade scalable web application. So it was a whole together challenge. First, we outsourced it. Then we outsourced them to other company. Then we finally ended up building it on our own. Then I finally ended up learning enough on my own to build parts of product on my own. So there's a whole history of product there. So yeah, like to summarize, there's a whole history there, and I mean, whenever the early members of C4 meet, or whenever we keep reminiscing about this, that how it changed our lives, and how much fun we had with these new ideas, and how we were kicking ass with this groundbreaking stuff and all these things. And yeah, I mean, at this point, I've even lost. I mean, how we started talking, but yeah, it started in June 19. The initial idea came working from Code Express Vellore. I worked on 2 years for it, like because it seconded in my second year summer. So before starting my third year, built my community, and finally I went full time on it after the degree ended.
Hmm. Nice.
Nice.
Communities is a buzzword nowadays. Like everyone wants to talk about communities, great communities. How do you plan to scale your community as such? Make more and more people engage with whatever stuff you're doing. And I'm pretty sure you're doing a cool job right there. So how do you plan to grow your community? How do you plan to market it, or maybe bring more people to it so that more and more people can benefit from what you're doing?
Sure. So, I mean, to be honest, it's a pretty huge challenge ahead of us. I mean, till now it was pretty easy because we had our networks in college.
Yeah.
So, getting up a community of competent people, even though it was groundbreaking for the time, it wasn't as difficult as it is like right now to scale this into some global stuff. So, first of all, my vision right now is that we need to narrow our market down, that okay, this is the market which we are focusing on. So let's say people who are currently working, they might not benefit as much from, I mean, anyone get totally benefit from C4, but we need to have a niche area so that we can solve a specific set of problems first nicely. So current first market is Indian engineering students. So first we'll focus on that. We have started from VIT because it was the easiest to sell to.
Home ground.
Yeah. So yeah. So we like first satisfy VIT's market. Then I mean, obviously VIT has the huge benefit which comes from VIT is that there are people from all over the country. So obviously the benefits which the word of mouth is going to give us, it's automatically going to scale us to a national level. Then there are, we need to target specific market specifically because VIT is a pretty diverse group. There are people who want to just learn raw tech and then get jobs off campus. There are people who want to stick to the conventional path of getting a GPA, learn competitive programming, and then get players and stuff. But market outside VIT, it's pretty biased in a certain way. Like if you go into IITs and ITs, they are pretty biased towards the GPA methodology. If you go towards tier 2, tier 3, they know that even how much GPA they score, they are not never going to get into uh, big companies because of all the the culture which exists around, or the discrimination which is there. So they need to focus more on building skills, building personal brand, nurture their raw talent and letting the market know about it, and get some good jobs. So after VIT, the plan is to like cater to specific needs specifically and all that. And the central point of it is that what I really want to build is an actual like cult. I mean, if you are like a member of C4, as you are working as a team member, or if you are a customer, if you are a mentor, if you are an affiliate, you'll be part of a community. And I mean, this has been the core part of our culture, like since day one. Our agenda is personal growth. I mean, that's what we focus on. I mean, even if today I have very open conversations with people who are working my team, whether their own building their own personal careers. So it's not like I'll restrict them from making progress. Let's say if someone is getting an opportunity in Google, and if they do not want to continue with Civil, I'm not going to stop them or hold something against them. So between all of us, like things are like that. That okay, personal growth is of primary importance, and we are pretty open about it, and we just support each other in the best possible way. So what I want to really do is scale this idea into a proper cult where you know um, we are actually growing, where we have an agenda of making this world actually a better place, and where we are. So this is how it should work. So first of all, we are building an educational platform, then we are building a hiring platform. So this makes it this basically decentralizes the whole job market which is there right now. So currently, if the system works, so companies won't be looking at brand values and all when they know that okay, if they are hiring someone who knows React or someone who knows Express, or they can add direct value from day one, and they can cut their cost in terms of training and stuff. So that way we decentralize the market. Now once this problem is solved, our educational platform will empower people to build their own startups, because that is the primary requirement of startup. I mean, funding can come later on and you can build a network and all, but if you don't have a good skill set, you can't survive building a startup. That is the primary requirement. So when there will be enough number of skilled people, they'll be like they can use the system. So people learn, then people use this platform to recruit people to build teams, right? So basically we'll in a way we'll accelerate economy via this. We'll accelerate jobs, we'll accelerate startups, then eventually we also plan in terms of like providing finance and stuff via that. But I mean, I haven't gone into specifics yet, but yeah, providing finance and whatever support startup need, legal compliance and all that stuff. So basically we'll be enabling people to build more and more number of startups. So due to that, there will be more and more number of jobs. Due to that, we eventually aim to like eradicate global poverty. I mean, I know it's a moonshot, but yeah, I mean, if there's a way to that, this is how it should go. More startups, more jobs, and then it will eventually uh, ensure that since there are so many number of them, everyone has a job. So after that, once people have a job, I guess the primary problem global problem is solved. I mean, after you have a job, everything else is like can be figured out in one way or the other. I mean, making your life better, working on health, personal finance, getting financial advice, making your career better, and all that stuff. That all stuff is secondary. I mean, you can work on it once you have like a stable income coming up. So that is the plan. That is the idea.
Do you have some like place where the entire community can hang out, maybe Discord or something like that?
Yeah. So we have Discord. It's not as active right now, but yeah, I mean that is the first thing which we are going to do after AMP. We are planning to start our own podcast as well with Spot. So which will be focusing on tech placements and guidance and stuff. So yeah, we'll start our community building efforts towards that. And Discord will be obviously the place to hang out. That is the place where the whole cult will be born, the whole practices will be introduced, and the whole proper community and cult vibes will be there.
Nice. So, like, there is, as per my understanding, like, obviously, I don't have a first-hand experience of your startup. You definitely have it, obviously better than me. But how do you plan to build a distribution to, like, I know VIT itself is a good distribution because you get access to so many people and you get access to their network as well, right? But how do you plan to bring organic growth, like podcast, as you said, is one? How do you build the distribution so that you are visible to more and more people then join your community, maybe through Discord, maybe through WhatsApp groups, or maybe through something else, and then they maybe take mentorships to learn something, then they start building stuff, right? So how do you plan to build distribution around it?
Yeah, so we have a growth model in place. So this is how it will work. So currently, this is how our revenue model works. So I won't go into much details.
Yeah, yeah.
It's boring. So if let's say there's a pricing, if the person comes via the mentor, the mentor gets paid more because like he's also teaching, and I mean the sales are also from his point of view. So we are just helping him out operational. So the mentor gets most cut. The second case is where C4 is bringing in the like sales. So it's 50-50 between C4 and mentors. The third case is where there's an affiliate or a salesperson bringing it the sales. So in that case, the sales guy goes 50%, mentor gets 25, and C4 gets 25. So this is the our basic revenue model. So in first case, mentor 81, C4 90. In second case, mentor 50, C4 50. Third case, affiliate 50, mentor 25, C4 25. Now, there is a basic registration fee for becoming a mentor or an affiliate. I mean, we are having coupons to like waive that for our like for people who we know that are legit and who are in our network. But obviously, at scale, we need to have a gate which can ensure that only legit people are coming or people who are actually serious about this stuff. So there's this registration fee. So now after people have learned from a platform, they are like they know enough to be a mentor, or I mean at least know enough about the platform to become an affiliate. So what we're planning to do is like waive the fee of the mentor fee or the affiliate fee for them, so that they can become a mentor or an affiliate. Now once a mentee becomes a mentor or affiliate, that gives us leverage to bring in more 25 people. So basically, we are outsourcing the leverage. I mean, we are about basically outsourcing the whole headache of onboarding more users to people who actually like the platform and would want more people to join the platform. And there are financial incentives about it. So basically, what we are saying is that take away our headache, take away the money as well. So it's okay. What we want is this to work fast. So we have this growth model in place, and this will be whole tokenized by crypto. So let's say there is the fee of a mentorship program right now is 500. The registration fee for mentor or in affiliate is also 500. We'll be also having our placement portal, and then there will be also be a recruitment channel for companies and stuff. So all of those will be in multiple 500 only. So let's say 500 rupees is one CFC. So you put in one CFC into the platform, you learn. We give you back that one CFC. Now you can use the CFC to become a mentor or an affiliate, or to join the recruitment platform, or basically we'll also incentivize you that if you're starting your own thing, use that one CFC to recruit another person or get your co-founder and stuff. The actual price of that will be 4 CFC for like another company if they are recruiting. So this is how we are planning to grow. Apart from that, this is basically this is our growth model, which will incentivize people to come onto the platform. It will enable exponential growth. Apart from that, I after bringing in sales for like C4 right now, what I've understood is that the pain points of different people are different. So let's say the pain point of VIT based audience won't be same as VIT pain points of some tier 2 tier 3 college, or pain points of some IITN or NITN. So again, that is a general strategy to scale. Study a market first, talk to people there, understand their pain points properly. Have proper conversation, document all that, and then again, it's all about experimentation. You implement those pain points into your platform. Then that platform gets tested. You realize how well it worked, or how how like why it didn't work. Then you basically iterate over it and make that. Basically, for every other market, you need to fit your product for that. So it's like achieving product market fit a multiple number of times. Right now we are focusing on VIT. Once we have product market fit for VIT, then we focus on some other market, then other market, then other market, and that's how we scale it. But basically, it all depends. For all this, we need money. So that is the plan. After we have the metrics for AMP, we'll raise funds. Get funded, because it's difficult to just keep working like this in survival mode. And once we have the money, then I guess with the vision, it's pretty much easy. Like we put in the money, getting the people, getting the feedback, build the product, iterate for it, and yeah, that's how it works more or less.
So, like you are leveraging people's network to build more and more network, deeper and deeper network, bringing more people in. Nice, it makes sense. Can you please talk about the AMP autumn mentorship program that's coming up? And is it still the registration is still open, right?
Yeah, tomorrow is the last date.
Okay.
28th September.
Oh,
Who is doing this?
tomorrow is the last date. Damn.
Yeah.
Like if wait. If someone from our audience wants to take up mentorship, and it's not possible for us to publish this podcast by tomorrow, how is there any possibility that we have some special sort of something that people are coming from our podcast, or maybe some sort of like reservation for people watching this, that they have access to the mentorship?
Um, So, like we were focusing on auto mentorship program for our product launch, but obviously there are going to be more mentorship programs and stuff like that. So right now it's just too overwhelming to even think beyond this. It's like if we survive auto mentorship program, we are partying for a week, and after that we are going to think about what we are going to do ahead. So I mean, the last few months have been really overwhelming. So that was our focus, and it's really even huge to have paying users. I mean, it's just so how do I put it into words? Like it's still imaginary that C4 is still like C4 is having a product and it's having paying users. I mean, a few months back we were struggling with deployments and stuff, and whatnot. And a few weeks back we were struggling with the distribution problem of how we'll get users. Why are we not seeing enough growth? I mean, finally all of that is sorted. So totally. I mean, once we have more details of how we want to proceed ahead, we can again collaborate again in the future. We can offer some special incentives and stuff for people coming through your podcast, and plan it in a total proper way. But yeah, for people who are listening, this C4 has a lot to offer. You can check out our blogs for gold placement content. You can ask any doubts on our forums. Our mentors will answer you there real soon. There are more mentorship programs coming up, and even leave all that. If you need any guidance from my end or any of anyone in C4 or anything like that, feel free to reach out. I mean, we are true to our agenda. I mean, our core purpose is to, as I told you, make this world a better place in a legit manner. So feel free to just reach out and talk. I legit accept random LinkedIn request, talk to random people on Twitter, accept random Instagram requests. Even text me anywhere randomly. I'm very used to people reaching out to me very weirdly and randomly, and I'm used to it. So feel free reach out to me and for anything that you want.
Yeah. Below, you have anything to ask?
Not really. I'm quite inspired actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's like I guess we had a really nice conversation. You talked us through crypto. You talked us through your startup, your remote jobs, everything, communities, building startup, growing. There is lot more to learn from you, man. There is like we can keep going on, and I can keep asking you questions and on and learning more from you, because whenever I find someone interesting, I become like a curious 5 year old kid, and I want to know it all. But I definitely understand. Obviously, we cannot keep a 10 hour long podcast, but I would say that people, if you want to definitely check out C4 projects. There are, I guess, obviously there will be more mentorships coming on if you're not able to get your hands on this one. There will be the mentorships where the mentorships are from people who are actually working in industries, having some jobs in those particular tech skills. So you will definitely have the first hand experience कि कैसे चीजें काम करती है वो फील्ड में, what is the real life application of those technologies that you will be learning. There will be a guided path for you, all of you. You can learn stuff, ask questions, interact with the community, and definitely we will be including all the handles of C4 projects in the description. We will definitely link all the handles of Tanishq as well in the description, so that you can reach out to him. We can talk about anything. You can talk how you can benefit from his knowledge. He'll definitely, as he said, he'll guide you. And yeah, I guess that is it. Anything you want to talk about, Tanishq, before we part off?
Yeah, so we talked a lot about me and C4. I
Yeah,
would want to
yeah,
learn more about your podcast and you guys too. So,
yeah.
what are you guys doing currently, and how did this journey start up, and how it has been so far?
Yeah, definitely. We would love to talk about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, Bilwa, please talk about it. Yeah, because Bilwa is the one who started this podcast. So yeah, please.
Yeah, so
Bilwa.
actually, like, I got placed through campus placements as well, like just through that. And as you said, even I had no clue about what I'm going to do, and I still don't have clue what I'm going to do, but yeah, I'm still going with the flow. So the thing is, I had a hard time gathering information about sitting for placements for various companies. And I was like this really nervous kind of a person, all right. So when I go to an interview, there's a high chance that I'll fumble. So the thing is, to overcome that fear, I had to like research a lot, and then I didn't know whom to ask. You can't ask like one senior all the questions, right? So my
Yeah.
point was to just get all the experiences in one podcast, and like, okay, this company, this software engineer role, or this thing, some service based company, like, and so on. I just started to get my friends only on the podcast, and then suddenly, like, we crossed like 7 to 8, and juniors were like, okay, this is really nice, maybe we can ask questions, maybe guide us on this, or maybe get this person on the podcast. So this is like just the first 5 6 episodes I was doing this, and then Manav came in, and I was supposed to interview him, but then Then this dude is just like, you know what, let's just expand this podcast and make it a career based podcast. And that was quite overwhelming because at first I was like, how will I manage the video editing skills? How do I put out? How do we record? What is the equipment required? So it was like all a mess. But then I was like, let's go for it because I don't think this content is going to die out pretty soon. Like we can always look for more opportunities later. So abhi ke liye, let's start with bringing people from various roles. Like last time we had map analyst, which people didn't hear basically like what is that role. And before that, category market manager, which even I didn't know. And today it's you working in crypto startups and like right from engineering college has just been such a nice this thing and tech. So that's the thing. So people who are interested in various things, maybe they'll get a proper maybe roadmap or just an inspiration to start. That was the whole point of this podcast. And later on, we have some plans, but we are not really sure because we ourselves are like so caught up in our own jobs and juggling between all these things. So Manav, I think you should continue.
Yeah, so it's like we want to make this go-to place for all the career advice, and we eventually want to go into bringing on people. Like once people start joining our community, I don't know when that happens. We are just hoping for the best. But whenever that happens, we want to bring in all our guests from the podcast to have a guest session to clear out doubts because it's like until unless you do a particular job, you don't know what that job looks like, whether you like it or not. अभी दूर से देखने में सब कुछ fancy fancy लगता है, but until you get your hands dirty into that field, you don't know whether it is fancy or not, right? So what we want to do is we just want to bridge that gap. I know for sure that we cannot bridge that gap 100% because we obviously until unless you get a job, we don't know. But we want to bring people who are working in that job roles, working in those career roles, and enable students people to ask questions to them so that मेरे को बताओ कि what is your daily life looking like, tell me how you what your daily routine is like when you're working in a particular role. So we specifically want to break it down so that what happens is that people can benefit from okay ये job में ऐसी चीजें होती है. Now whether I will like it or not, it's like then I have a better understanding if I like that particular job, if I like that particular skill set, if I like that particular field or something like that, right? So entire purpose of the podcast was this. Like currently, like when Bilwa started, she was focusing on placement side of it. So we thought let's take it like let's broaden the scope of the podcast and make it like a career based podcast so that people can talk about it, and then eventually people might share their journeys, might help each other propelling their careers, right? And communities is what like we are just attempting to build a podcast, have some useful resources for people like you. Like as we talked about crypto, many people might want to get into crypto and they might have now a good resource. They can reach out to Tanishq and they can ask him कि मेरे को ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, tell me what should I go next, what can be a good resource to learn. So that is the entire aim of this podcast.
Yeah.
And we try to manage it with our jobs, we try to manage editing. Bilwa pulls off the major work, and I must say that Bilwa, she's like very focused on how to grow this podcast, how to bring on guests and all. She's like very, and we are obviously trying how to reach out to more people, bring more interesting guests. And this was definitely one of the interesting and inspiring podcast. Like obviously it will be for audience as well, and it was for both of us as well. That you are doing great stuff, and to do this is a great thing, man. Yeah.
For example, like everyone talked about investing in crypto and everything else, but no one spoke about the tech part that goes behind it.
Yeah.
That's what I found really insightful about this conversation. That was my part because even I was clueless. I'm like, people are just throwing these fancy words around, but no one is talking about what goes behind and what is actually visible in the front and what is going to be visible in the near future. So I think that was the highlight of this podcast, and and it was great. It was great having you, Tanishq.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, that was like a great journey to hear about you all.
Yep.
So yeah, best of luck with your podcast, and you know,
Yes.
if there's anything, if there's any way I can help you guys with it, just let me know.
Sure.
Be happy to help.
Sure.
So yeah,
And
best of luck, and
yeah.
have a great time.
Yeah. Thank you. Like, thank you for joining us for this podcast.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
to all the audience, I would say check out all the links. Check out Tanishq's handle.
Yeah.
Check out C4 projects. Check out the mentorships coming up in future. And if you want to like have any doubts, reach out to us, reach out to Tanishq, ask about crypto, ask about startups, jobs, skills, anything. And I guess he's like a really good resource to help you out with that. So yeah, that's it. And obviously, like, share, subscribe to our
Like,
podcast.
share, subscribe, guys.
Yeah.